Hello everybody. Um, I'm doing a second video today, a little bit different. This one is not actually a pagan video. This one is to celebrate my book. Oh, look, here it is. Okay, so we're gonna have a little bit of a chat about this. I'm gonna probably read one of the shorter poems out of it and tell you where you can get your own copy, as well as with a link down below where you can get it. So, I am super excited. Now, for those of you who do not know already, this is actually my second book. My first one, I have a copy of here as well, and I'll actually put a link to that one below as well. Give me a second. Alright, there's the first one. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about those. Maybe I'll actually read a piece out of both. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Okay, we'll do the first one first and the second one second, because of course that makes perfect chronological sense. So, for those of you who are unaware, I am a poet. I've been writing poetry for basically my entire life. It's been something that I have loved and adored since I was quite small. I actually, as a little kid, I used to believe that Dr. Seuss rhymes were like the stupidest things ever, and that I could so write better than Dr. Seuss. I would like to point out Dr. Seuss is actually a freaking amazing poet, because all that rhyming is hard, okay? This is not easy to write. And he wrote book after book after book using the same kinds of rhymes. And let me tell you, that is hard, okay? That is very hard. I could never write as well as Dr. Seuss, okay? I have come to realize that. But at 4 years old, I believed I could, all right? So we're just going to tell my 4-year-old self to go and, like, learn to rhyme, because I still don't do well with rhyming, okay? I'm actually writing a piece right now. It's a longer piece, and it does rhyme, and it is hard, okay? Like, I stumble and falter and can't find the words, and I am a terrible, terrible rhymer. And I'm just like, oh, I'm working with this word, and then I have to, like, go through the alphabet. Like, if I was trying to rhyme the word ball, okay, it'd be all, ball, call, doll, eol, fall. You see where I'm going with this? Okay, so that's obviously a simple one. But when you're rhyming other words that are a lot more complicated, it's a lot harder to find a word that rhymes. And I have two per stanza. Okay, so the first two lines come out really easy. And then the second two lines, I'm just like, and kicking myself for deciding to rhyme. Okay, like totally kicking myself, because this is not my forte. But I was inspired to rhyme, so that's what I'm doing. If it turns out to be a crappy piece, oh well, at least I got the practice rhyming, right? It is quite long. It's actually at 32 stanzas right now, and it's still going. So I'm nowhere near finished with it. It's going to be quite a long piece, and most likely published by itself in a chapbook, because it's going to be quite long. So, anyways, my first book was released 2 years ago. It's called Unwinding My Mind. I love that typewriter. Okay, like, I love it. It's actually not really all that clear on the cover. When I look at it, it's pretty pixelated, but it doesn't look too bad when I'm showing you guys, so that's alright. So, this is my very first poetry book, and I am actually insanely proud of this. I focused on writing about my experiences with mental illness. So some of these are pretty, some people find some of them hard to read. Okay, so just be forewarned. I'm not going to read one that would likely be a trigger warning. or need a trigger warning, but all the same, some of these are pretty, I don't know what you'd call them. Okay. So we're going to go with outside the box. Okay. Outside the box lies freedom I've never known, movement, motion, terrifying space, the lost moments, the lost memories, everything slamming heavily into my brain, the weight of it all crushing, holding me down, trying to force me back into the box. I stop, breathe, reach up. Hands drag me free. I'm outside. I breathe. I'm free now, freer than I've ever felt. How did I ever find myself so trapped? So like I said, I'm not a rhymer, so obviously that's not going to rhyme, but that's just one from my first book. So I'll put the link down below where you can grab that. All right. So the second one, and the reason for this video is because my second book has just become available. Publication date is actually, where did I put it as, November? I don't know if I actually put that in there. No, I didn't. Just this year. Okay, so this particular book is called 1,000 Words and Other Poems. Pretty pine tree in the background that my best friend sent to me as a picture that I just adored. Okay, it's actually, it continues in the bottom, but it's like harder to see because it looks kind of black in the camera. So this one is a bit thicker. Okay. So the black one is Unwinding My Mind, and 1,000 Words or Other Poems is actually a thicker book. Mostly that's because I changed the format. So it's a bit different than the first one. And I'm like, I like the new format, but I don't know that I would use it again. Like, I might actually not do that, so we'll see. So with these poems, 1,000 Words is the name of a poem in the book. Okay, should be the first poem actually. Yeah, it is. It's the first poem. 1,000 Words. Okay, so I started with that one because of the theme of the entire book. Okay, so 90% of the poems in this book were inspired by photographs. I challenged my best friend and my partner to send me images that they really liked, and I would write a poem for that image that was inspired by that image. And so that's what most of these are. So they talk about how a picture is worth 1,000 words. So that's where the title came from. This is the 1,000 words that the picture is worth, I guess. Does that make sense? It makes sense in my mind, but I'm sure I'm not expressing it very well. So I'm actually quite proud of this. It took me, when I finished writing Unwinding My Mind, I kind of went through a dry spell. I wasn't really writing that much. I was so burnt out from all the work that I had put into Unwinding My Mind, because I think I wrote the last 30 pieces all within a month maybe, and I was brain dead, like I just could not do it anymore. So I didn't write. And then I started to write, but it was just like a poem here and there. And then I started getting frustrated with myself because I wasn't writing, which just made me not want to write even more. I did want to, but it just seemed to not be, it wasn't working for me, I just couldn't do it. And the more I tried to pressure myself, the less I was getting. And then the pictures started when my partner, I challenged her one night while we were talking on the phone, or by text, I can't remember, by text, I think, to send me a picture. And I would write a poem inspired by that picture. And she sent me a picture of a black hole. Okay. So the piece I wrote for that black hole picture is in this book. All right, I did include it. All right. So then it just became a thing. You know, I wasn't able to write the way I normally did because I was struggling so bad. But having everybody sending me these images, mostly my partner, some of them came from my best friend, but having them send me these pictures, these images, it inspired me, and I wanted to write. And then I started writing without the pictures, and I was writing with the pictures. So there is, a significant number of poems in here that were not inspired by photographs. And I'm not going to tell you which ones they are, okay? Because honestly, they should be pretty obvious because they're very different from the rest of what I would normally write. I probably should have put a notation in there of some kind to say, hey, these are the ones that I wrote with pictures. But I didn't because I didn't feel I needed to. So I'm going to read you a poem out of here. And since I've mentioned it, I'm going to read to you Black Hole. So I'm going to find it. If I thought ahead, I would have been able to mark it so that I could just turn to it. But I didn't do that. That would be too easy. There it is, 1:15. All right, you ready? I'm gonna make sure it doesn't continue. No, it doesn't. Okay. The black hole, sucking, inhaling, devouring, destroying everything in its path. Nothing is missed as it makes its way around and around, feeding itself on planets and stardust. Its actions mimicked here by those who seek its power, its appetite, the destruction. They move slowly, consuming all in their orbit, leaving nothing behind but the memory of what was. In time, that memory fades, until eventually nothing remains but the black hole, searching only for its next victim, its next meal. No consciousness driving it, only the quest to devour all. So, that is a piece out of 1,000 Words and Other Poems. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed listening to those. I know it's kind of different for me, given that typically I talk about pagan stuff, but writing is important to me. So I figured moving forward, I'm going to do some videos, obviously, on pagan things, and I'm going to do some videos on my writing, because why not? It's my channel, right? So it's getting to be a longer video than I was expecting, but that's okay because it's still kind of short. So I will get this video posted as soon as I can, and I hope to hear back. I would love to hear your opinions of what you've read. If you do decide to buy a copy of either one, I'd love to hear what you have to say. If you're also a poet, please, by all means, share in the comments or send us, put in a link where we can go and check out your work, because I would love to, have a community of writers sticking around. So that would be amazing. So I wish you all a great week, and we'll talk soon. Okay, bye.